standing.
Tension has gripped the National Stadium.
What's going on with Shericka Jackson? We really need to know. Now, for the past couple of seasons, Shericka Jackson has been one of the biggest names in track and field, not just in the female section but right across the board. She has dominated the headlines, and as a matter of fact, she has been the best performing Jamaican athlete for a couple of seasons now. She has been the one to beat. She was very dominant, and from the 2020 Olympics, she has been improving rapidly. She has been making strides to become the athlete to beat in both the 100 and 200 meters, and the world has seen that. Now, fast forward to this year, 2024, which is an Olympic year. Shericka Jackson has been just a skeleton of herself. Usually we would have seen Shericka Jackson running a ton of races all over the place. She would open her season quite early and she would just get going just like that. She'd be doing indoors, she would be on the circuit running a lot of races, smaller meets in Jamaica, and of course internationally. She would just be there because we have grown to know Shericka to be a workhorse. Now, fast forward to this year, which we had the Olympics and we had many races on the circuit, the Diamond League and all that kind of good stuff, different meets in Jamaica and other places. Jackson looked like a mere shadow of herself. Jackson barely ran any race this year in comparison to what she would have normally done. And yes, we heard a little thing that she had some injury issues, but the thing about it, we never got any form of official word from Shericka or from her camp, and I stand corrected on this. We saw her that she was not the best. She was not the Shericka that we used to see in terms of that sharpness and that readiness and that drive. We saw her running a pretty decent race when it came on to the national trials, where she clocked 10:84 to win the Jamaican championships. But apart from that, it wasn't really Shericka. Now, this year at the Olympics, Shericka did not run a single race. Remember, she was qualified for both the 100 and the 200 meters. When it came very close to the time for her to participate in the 100 meters, we heard that she was not going to participate. One of her coaches, which is Stephen Francis, came out and said that Shericka Jackson could run any of the races, but she chose not to. He didn't really give away much, but it seems as if there was something happening in the space. I don't know if he was trying to be diplomatic, not putting everything out there at the time, but he was saying that Shericka could run. But we saw where Shericka didn't run, and I don't believe that was just a decision taken by Shericka herself. It must have been something decided upon by herself and her team, and more so her coaches, which would have been Stephen Francis and his brother Paul Francis. So that right there kind of bring a little bit of cloud to the situation, what Stephen Francis said versus what Shericka did and all of that. But let's move on from there. Let's take this a little bit further. The 200 meters came up and Shericka did not start any at all. So for the entire Olympic game, we did not see her in the 100 meters. We did not see her in the 200 meters. And can I tell you that fans were super disappointed. Now, looking into this situation, I have to wonder what is going on. And as I've said, if I'm wrong, I stand corrected on this. Since the Olympic Games and the absence of Shericka's performance in the Olympics, I've not yet seen any form of official release from Shericka Jackson or from her management team or from the MVP camp that says that this is what happened to Shericka Jackson and this is the reason why we took this decision to not have her race for the entire games, and we are looking to come back next year bigger and better. I have not seen any such release at this point in time. And I'm saying to myself that we know that the athletes, they go to a very rigorous program for the entire year to get themselves ready for whatever championship, for whatever games they're going to participate in. So we know that it's physically taxing, it's very hard, it's very, very difficult. But I'm thinking though that out of respect for the Jamaican people, for her fans, there should have been an official release to the public to explain something, even if they don't want to tell the full extent of what took place, but at least to say that there were some injury problems and we feared risking any further damage and we decided on not allowing her to run. Now, it's within the right of the athlete to disclose what they want to disclose or to keep whatever they want to keep a secret. But I think for the fans who would have spent their hard-earned cash and turn up at the Olympic Games to show their support, just to see Shericka Jackson run, I think it would have been great for those persons if they hear something officially coming from the MVP camp. And we cannot pressure the athletes to do what they're not able to do at the moment, because we understand that track and field, it takes a lot, and a single injury can throw off the entire program. But I think it would have been appropriate for the fans, Jamaican track and field fans, and just about every fan of Shericka Jackson, for them to get some official word to understand what is happening. Now, since this incident, there are people out there who are saying that Shericka Jackson will not be able to bounce back from this season, which I think is really a crazy argument. It may take a little time for her to get back into the groove, but she's at the right place. She's at the MVP. She's with some of the best coaches in the world. She's under the tutelage of Stephen Francis and his brother, which we know those are very, very capable hands. So I think Shericka is coming back next track and field season, with a lot of buzz, wanting to regroup and want to reclaim some of that glory and that fame that was hers for quite some time, since Elaine Thompson got injured and Shelley and Fraser Price got injured, and their careers are somewhat winding down. So I think she will, be looking forward to 2025. But at least we, the fans, I think we should get some official words of as to what is happening, because it's really we're mostly in the dark, except maybe for those who are close to Shericka and the MVP. But we really need to understand what is going on with Shericka Jackson right now.
And the slight push in the set position. Off they go. Natasha Morrison's on the pressing on the door as well. Step forward, Shericka Jackson imperiously, and she steps away in great style.